Hey there, welcome to Business Breakthroughs. I am Neal Dipentino. I'm your host. We've got a great guest with us today. He is an award-winning business coach and a conflict resolution specialist. He's the CEO of Hannah HDA Corporation. He's published several articles. He's an author, and he is the growth coach of the Poconos. Welcome to the show, Rick Franzo. Excuse me, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, you got it right. Thank you, Neal.
Did I say that right? I apologize if I didn't.
Oh, nope, fantastic. You did.
Outstanding. Well, I kind of think we have a little bit in common here, but we'll get into that a little bit later on with our names and everything. So welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you. We're just talking off line just a little bit about, the seasons and things changing a little bit. And, just like seasons change in the world, it also changes in the business world as well. So you're a business coach. You work with several different businesses to help them improve their businesses. And one of the things that I saw that I really liked about what you said on your LinkedIn profile is that hold on one second. I'm going to find it right here. As I say this, and then I can't find it. You help businesses get unstuck, and I think that's really cool because as a business owner, and as a podcast host, we do get stuck sometimes. We're in that day-to-day type routine. We have staff we're dealing with, we have clients we're dealing with, we have, situations in business in general that we're dealing with, and we do get stuck. And we need somebody to help us from time to time. And you're the guy that does it for your folks there in the Poconos. Tell us a little about yourself and your business.
So a little bit about myself. I'm from the Poconos originally, and I am married for over 35 years, together with my wife for 38. We have 3 adult grown children. 2 of them have their own businesses. And my path to business coaching was maybe unique, maybe not. My first business was a mobile DJ business. I was a professional radio disc jockey for 10 years. And I worked in the grocery industry as a buyer and a supervisor and a trainer for approximately 30 years. I was also a corrections officer in a prison. I graduated first in my class and was on a unit unarmed with 64 male inmates. And I did that for a little while. I worked at university as a buyer in the bookstore for 11 years. So I have a fairly diverse background, but what led me to coaching wasn't necessarily my business acumen over the years. It was a brain tumor. So I just want to, kind of toss this out there that I've never had cancer, but I have had 3 brain tumors. I live with 2 currently. So 14 years ago in May of 2009, I was playing horseshoes at a barbecue, and I lost all strength and coordination on the right side of my body. It was there was no pain, but I couldn't throw halfway to the pin. When I tried to throw straight, it would go sideways. And it scared me enough for me to go to my doctor on Monday. This was on a Saturday. I went Monday. He sent me to a neurologist who did some physical tests and said, yeah, you got some weakness in the right side. We're going to send you for an MRI. So I went a couple of weeks later, had the MRI. They said I'd get the results in a week or so. Went home, went to work the next day, and they called me. They said, Mr. Franzo, we usually don't make this call, but you have an enormous brain tumor. We have a neurosurgeon from a larger hospital here today in the office. You have a 1:00 appointment. See you then.
Oh, wow.
I just dropped the phone. I said, well, I'm dead, right? I didn't know anything about brain tumors. So to make a real long story short, went to the appointment, and the doctor said, we don't think you have cancer because your tumor is just enormous, the biggest one that we've seen in over 30 years. The pressure should have killed you by now, so you have less than 2 weeks to live. You are going on anti-seizure medicine, and you are going on steroids. The danger was that I would have had a grand mal seizure that would have killed me, or I just would have slipped into a coma that I wouldn't have ever awakened from. And thank goodness I wasn't driving, and I didn't have my daughter, who was 11 at the time. She wasn't in the car. Both of my sons were out of the house, either in college, or my one son was in the military, and then he was back in college. So Long story short, I had 10 and a half hours of surgery a few weeks later. Two teams of neurosurgeons drilled a dozen holes into my head, took my skull off, um, took the whole tumor out, resected the entire tumor like any good contractor, put a titanium mesh plate in there, screwed it down, put bone plaster over it, my real scalp, and here I am, still extremely pretty. But some of the collateral damage from my benign brain tumor was that I was paralyzed from the waist down. It was the
Mm.
damage that it did to my motor skills just from the pressure.
Mm.
So they gave me 8 days in the hospital, and they transferred me to a rehab facility that was very close to my house, about 200 yards away from my office at the university, actually. And they said, "We're giving you a week. We're going to do intensive therapy on you. Something has to move. If it doesn't move, you have to be transferred far away to another facility for more acute therapy and longer term care." And my goal was to come out of there. I was going to walk out of there. That was my goal. Nobody believed it. Family, doctors, nurses, therapists, nobody. They said, your chances of walking out of here are pretty much zero. They're almost impossible. And in 6.5 weeks, I walked out of there with leg braces and a walker. And that really is kind of when my coaching actually began. I started to connect with other people in the brain tumor community. I was never on social media before that, but I started to connect with people on Facebook. And I found that it wasn't unique to me, and I wasn't the only one that this was happening to. So I started to connect with some people. I started a group on Facebook called Brain Tumor Talk, day after Christmas 2009. I founded it with the intention, which is still true today. I just wanted to give others like myself a platform so that they could have a voice, so they could be heard and they wouldn't feel so alone, and they were surrounded by others who get it, right? It has grown now to over 16,000 people from over 50 countries. I have 4 other brain tumor survivors, brain cancer and brain tumor survivors from around the country that help me admin it. And it is just an amazing platform. The stories on there are so incredible. And again, it wasn't unique to me. So I started to actually coach. It was more mentoring at that point. People, they would come to me and they would say, I have this problem or that problem. And I started to, help them get from point A to point B, because you're definitely stuck when you have something so life-changing and sneaks up on you like that. Mm-hmm. I did a little bit of coaching business-wise on the side, a little bit of light consulting, nothing great. I had a good run at the university. I actually wrote a book that they used at the university for curriculum it was part of the syllabus for some of the classes and things. So I did a lot of public speaking, things like that. And again, I had a good run, but I wanted to do something for myself. So I ran across the Growth Coach franchise. It matched my values, my principles. And so I bought a franchise 5.5 years ago, and I haven't looked back ever since. And here we are. I'm speaking with Neal.
Fantastic. Well, I'm glad you're speaking with me today. Absolutely. 100%. So tell us, so you made that transition. Obviously you went through all this stuff, and thankfully you made it all through. Thank God. That's awesome. So now you're a business coach. You're working with businesses in your general vicinity. What kind of clients do you typically work with?
Yes, I have local clients, and I also have clients around the country that I coach virtually. And, it really was a transition. The pandemic had the one good thing that came out of it, that everybody really got used to doing things in a virtual realm. So my clients range from California to Cancun and everywhere in between, and locally. All types of businesses locally. My sweet spot is really the trade. So I coach a lot of people in construction, HVAC, electricians, painters, demolition, dumpster removal, things like that. And, also in the professional realm, where insurance agencies, IT companies, things like that. But they all have a common theme, is that everybody is very busy being busy. They're very good at what they do. They just don't have the time or maybe the knowledge and maybe the energy to invest working more on their business. So what I do is I go in there if they give me a call or we connect, and we decide where they are. I meet them where they are, in their process, and we help them to get unstuck. So everything I do is custom coaching, right? Because there's some same circus, different tent, a lot of different similar themes, but we work on the person and the business. So not a life coach, straight up business coach, but there is that balance between their professional and their personal lives, and there has
Right.
to be satisfaction in both.
Well, I think you're right. I think that you absolutely have to work on the person in order to be able to be successful in business as well. I run into a similar situation. I work with some people in the trades as well. And one of the things that we've been talking about here recently is how to create an exit plan for your business. Now, the business I'm working with in particular, he was a minority partner. His brother passed away. He took over the business, so he's only been really in operation, running the company now for the last 6 to 8 months. But what we've been trying to do is we're trying to make him invisible. So we want him to be able to leave the business anytime he wants, and that business is still going to run. It's going to thrive, even without him. Up to this point, it doesn't happen. It doesn't work for him that way. Now, is that something that you do with your clients?
I do. So we do the exit planning. We do succession planning. We work with a strategic mindset process. So acting more like the CEO, more of a planner, not just boots on the ground and being a technician. So the business should run the same or even better, whether you're there or not. It doesn't need your blood, sweat, tears, and your presence there all the time for it to run. So in December, I'm doing a retreat with my clients, and I have 4 clients that have been with me almost 5 years, and they have been certified in the strategic business mindset process. Some of them own multiple businesses, and they are able to scale and run the businesses and have other people leverage other people, processes, systems they put in place so that they don't have to be there every day, but they still are being successful.
Is this process something that you yourself designed, or is that part of the growth coach
No,
process?
it's a growth coach. Yep.
Okay.
That's a growth coach program. So I have the latitude to adjust it based on any of the programs based on what my clients' needs are. But the one constant is a strategic mindset process. That's what we do. We act more as a CEO, right?
Okay.
And we don't have to be there all the time. And so that's a process. So if somebody's going to go and buy your business, right, and the valuation is based on you, your business really, if you're not there, your business is worth nothing,
It's
right?
worthless. Yeah, absolutely.
So it's worthless. And so this is where we make the transition. I work with businesses of, all different sizes, from solopreneurs to businesses that have over 400 employees, 20 some members of management, lots of family run businesses that are very, very successful. Some are niche, some are not. But they're always a good business for me to coach. They're successful. I'm just helping them level up and again, get unstuck, right? And reach more, whatever success looks like to them. Could be money, could be size, could be more personal freedom, could be more time with their family. Whatever that looks like, that's what we do. Right.
Whatever their goal.
Right. And I'm a coach. So,
Right.
you're a coach. We don't tell people what to do. We're not consultants. We're not mentors. I don't go out and swing a hammer. It would be terrible if I did, and I wouldn't have any clients then or windows in my house. But
Right.
what we do is we walk alongside our clients and help them to see things as they really are from the outside looking in. And if they stumble, we make sure that, they don't cut themselves on the sharp rocks that are on the ground. I came to this kind of epiphany when I was in therapy. And so, do you remember when you learned how to walk, Neal?
No,
No,
I don't.
nobody
It was a
does,
long time
right?
ago. Yeah, that's
But
right.
I had to learn how to walk again, right?
Hmm.
So the therapist couldn't walk for me. So they would give me strategy. So I'd be in the wheelchair and they would say, "All right, Rick, scoot forward in your wheelchair, put your nose over your toes, and they would go through the steps that I needed to do so I could stand on my own. Then we go into the parallel bars. Take a step, then another step. This is the process to do it. This is really what we do. They couldn't walk for me. I can't do their business for them. What I can show them is from the outside looking in how to do it, right? Maybe identify some other strategies that I could do so that I could walk a bit more smoothly or more effectively, right?
Mhm.
And get from point A to point B.
So the streamlining that you do, is that more streamlining processes? Is it a matter of like, marketing, advertising? Is it all the above?
It could be D, all of the above. I don't do any of the marketing or advertising, but we'll identify maybe some gaps or blind spots that they have in their business, and we'll address it. So if it's marketing, we can work on some simple things like how they can market for themselves. But there's going to be a point where we have to make sure I don't build websites. I don't do SEO or anything else. So we have to leverage the time and talents of other people so that they have time to do what's important for them.
And you provide that information to them, or those resources to them, or do you act as
I
like
do. I do. So I'm almost a connector, and I think that most of us are. I would imagine that you
right?
are
Yeah.
as well. We know people. We have a good book of business and a lot of partners in business and colleagues and things like that. So referring them to somebody that needs maybe um, they need better business insurance, or they need a good lawyer to take care of some things, or they need a good accountant, or they need a good marketing agency, good website designer, things like that. I'm able to guide them to professionals that can help them for sure.
Okay. Can you walk us maybe through like a real live example of maybe where you worked with a specific client? Again, you don't have to give their name, but somebody who maybe had a problem that was difficult for them to solve on their own. You came in with a solution and helped them find a good outcome.
Yeah, so I'll be real general about this. It's in the conflict resolution, so that isn't really coaching. That was more of a consulting that I did, and so a law firm had asked me to come in and um, and facilitate a discussion between all of the partners. They had different beliefs, they had different views on things, um, and a lot of it came down to different personalities and things like that. So I was to help facilitate a new contract that was between four of the partners in this multi location law office that was very profitable, but had a lot of internal uh, gaps, difficulties, challenges. Um, so we went through the process. I had to facilitate um, for 5 months. Five
Wow.
months it took, but we came to an outcome that was good for everybody. Sometimes there is no resolution to conflict, but
Right.
it's one of the examples where we can be, depending on our skill set, nimble enough to go and shift on that. For other companies, a lot of the things have continuing themes. So um, they leadership and sales are two of the biggest things that I face recently that I've been addressing with businesses. So um, they know that they should be selling. They're just not sure how to hold themselves or their sales teams accountable, right? Not having a solid sales process, not relating properly with their potential clients, not establishing the need and asking the good open ended questions. The advancing a tailored or a custom solution is always easiest because they know what their products or services that they're going to be offering. But developing the commitment is hard because so many people are hung up on price, and price really should be um, if we're talking too much about features, then the price comes in. We're not talking so much about the benefits. What does the transformation look like if we don't do this, or if we do this?
Mhm.
So that is an issue, and accountability with teams is a big thing. So um, no matter where they are in their business or their process, one of the biggest gaps and challenges is that they're not too sure how to hold their people accountable. Um,
Mhm.
they're not too sure how to hire. They're not too sure how to retain. They're not too sure how to grow.
Right. Right. Well, I think it goes back to what you were saying earlier, was that um, a lot of these businesses that you're working with, they know a discipline that the reason why they got into the business in the first place. They might be a plumbing company that, they know plumbing like the back of their hands. They love plumbing. I work with a garage door company. The guy, if I have a conversation with him, he can basically tell me every door that was ever manufactured, what it does, what the size is, the specs, how it's going to work, what the problems are with it, the whole 9 yards. But if you ask him, about his sales and his year over year type sales, or what kind of marketing he's doing to try to increase his business, he couldn't tell you at all, because it's not his thing. It's not his discipline.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody who I've been coaching for a couple of years, just about now, ironically, a plumbing company, and he doesn't mind me sharing this, and we're not going to use names or anything, but we had a call last Friday, and he said, Rick, he said, this is not good. So what are you talking about? Cliche, right? Joe the plumber, but that's his name. His name is Joe. He's a plumber. He knows plumbing like the back of his hand, right? Very smart individual, super artistic, wonderful family. But he said, the phone's not ringing. I wonder why. Joe, this is coming into your busiest time of the year. I know. I don't understand. So we went through a couple of points. I said, are we doing this? Are we doing this? Yes, yes. I said, how's your digital marketing going? Because he had some good marketing prior to me coming on board with him, and it's been good. And we switched to more of an SEO and Google business page and everything else. I said, how's that being managed? I said, and I know the person who's doing it, and they're awesome. He said, we put that on pause. We tried some stuff and we put it on pause. I said, well, Joe, I said, our call is done. What you're going to do is you're going to call this gentleman and you're going to say, please reinstate the program, and let's get that phone ringing. So sometimes it's that seeing things from 1,000 miles away that's right in front of some people, but they're so busy, right, and so tied up in whatever it is that they can't see the forest through the trees. And so very, very common. And so not just the accountability, but giving them that little bit of reality. This is what's happening. We should take action on it like yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think it was great advice for him. I've run into similar situations, and you do what you do well. You let somebody else who knows what they're doing do the rest of it for you. And a lot of people, they don't want to pay for that, but they end up paying for it in the long run in a negative way, because they're going to lose business. They're going to lose money because they don't have people doing the things that they do well. So that was great advice. 100%. So, hey, listen, we're coming to the end of our time here. Was there anything that you'd like to add to the conversation? Any last minute thoughts that you might have?
Not really. Just, if you're in business, don't be afraid. Take pride and ego and set it aside and ask for help. If you're not going to have a coach, that's fine. Have a trusted colleague. Have somebody to bounce things off of. But it does take a village, and being in business it looks very easy, but we all know that if we're in business, it is extremely difficult. So don't be afraid to ask for help, and you'll see the fruits of asking. You'll see the benefits from it.
Fantastic. So if our clients, or I'm sorry, our audience would like to get in contact with you, Rick, how would they go about doing that?
My information will, I'm sure, be shared at the end of this, but they can give me a call. It's 570-517-4672, or they can email me at rfranzo@thegrowthcoach.com.
Fantastic. Well, we really do appreciate you being a guest with us today. And that's it for our show. So thrilled that you all could be with us today. Business Breakthroughs is sponsored by Titan Media Works. That's Works with an X. You can reach us at titanmediaworks.com and check out all of our great hosts on the Small Business Delivered Network at smallbusinessdelivered.com. Until next time, bye-bye.